tincture covered his clothes, the cap upon his head, his boots, his face, and his hands. He was not temporarily overlaid with the colour, it permeated him. The old man knew the meaning of this. The traveller with the cart was a reddleman, a person whose vocation it was to supply farmers with redding for their sheep. He was one of a class rapidly becoming extinct in Wessex. The decayed officer, by degrees, came up alongside his fellow wayfarer and wished him good evening. The reddleman turned his head and replied in sad and occupied tones. He was young, and his face, if not exactly handsome, approached so near to handsome that nobody would have contradicted an assertion that it really was so in its natural colour. He was clothed throughout in a tight-fitting suit of corduroy, excellent in quality, not much worn, and well chosen for its purpose, but deprived of its original colour by his trade. It showed to advantage the good shape of his figure. A certain well-to-do air about the man suggested that he was not poor for his degree. After replying to the old man's greeting, he showed no inclination to continue in talk, although they still walked side by side, for the elder traveller seemed to desire company. Now, as they thus pursued their way, the reddleman occasionally left his companion's side and, stepping behind the van, looked into its interior through a small window. The look was always anxious. He would then return to the old man, who made another remark about the state of the country and so on, to which the reddleman abstractedly replied, and then again they would lapse into silence. Possibly these two might not have spoken again till their parting, had it not been for the reddleman's visit to his van. When he returned from his 5th time of looking in, the old man said, "You have a child there, my man?" "No, sir, I have a woman." "The deuce you have! She has fallen asleep, and not being used to travelling, she's uneasy and keeps dreaming." "A young woman?" "Yes, a young woman." "Perhaps she's your wife?" "My wife," said the other bitterly. "She's above mating with such as I, but there's no reason why I should tell you about that." "That's true, and there's no reason why you should not. Who is she? One of the neighbourhood?" "'Tis no matter who. Excuse me." "It is not that girl of Bloom's End who has been talked about more or less lately? If so, I know her, and I can guess what has happened." "'Tis no matter. Now, sir, I am sorry to say that we shall soon have to part company. My ponies are tired, and I have further to go, and I'm going to rest them under this bank for an hour." The elder traveller nodded his head indifferently, and the reddleman turned his horses and van in upon the turf, saying, "Good night." He then took some hay from a truss which was slung up under the van, and, throwing a portion of it in front of the horses, made a pad of the rest, which he laid on the ground beside his vehicle. Upon this he sat down, leaning his back against the wheel. From the interior, a low, soft breathing came to his ear. It appeared to satisfy him, and he musingly surveyed the scene as if considering the next step that he should take. The scene before the reddleman's eyes was a gradual series of ascents from the level of the road backward into the heart of the heath. It embraced hillocks, pits, ridges, acclivities, one behind the other, till all was finished by a high hill cutting against the still light sky. The traveller's eye hovered about these things for a time, and finally settled upon one noteworthy object up there. It was a barrow. This bossy projection of earth, above its natural level, occupied the loftiest ground of the loneliest height that the heath contained. It formed the pole and axis of this heathery world. As the resting man looked at the barrow, he became aware that its summit, hitherto the highest object in the whole prospect round, was surmounted by something higher. It rose from the semi-globular mound like a spike from a helmet. There the form stood, motionless as the hill beneath. Above the plain rose the hill, above the hill rose the barrow, and above the barrow rose the figure. The figure shifted a step or two and turned round. As if alarmed, it descended on the right side of the barrow and then vanished. The movement had been sufficient to show that it was a woman's.